A shadowed figure stumbles through the African savanna under a blood-red sunset. The air hums with tension, thick and electric. Heavy breaths rasp in the stillness, labored, desperate. Somewhere in the distance, a low growl rumbles, deep and hungry, vibrating through the earth. Then out of the swirling dust, a massive silhouette emerges. Not a mirage, not a trick of the light, but Babu, the aging elephant who vanished into thin air. Where has he been? What's chasing him through this wild, unforgiving land? You're about to step into a story that'll grip your heart and shake your soul. A tale of survival, loyalty, and a mystery so raw it'll keep you on edge until the final, breathtaking moment. Buckle up, because this is no ordinary ride. Let's go. Once in the dusty heart of Johannesburg Zoo, there lived Babu, a titan of flesh and memory. For 47 long years, his weathered grey trunk traced the same cracked concrete walls, his footsteps a slow rhythmic echo against the enclosure's unyielding bars. His eyes, clouded with age, had seen it all. Children pressing sticky hands against glass, their gasps and giggles fading into a blur as decades rolled by. Babu wasn't just an elephant, he was a relic, a silent monarch crowned by time itself. But time doesn't bow to kings. His knees creaked now, his massive frame sagged under the weight of years, and his spirit flickered like a candle in the wind, trapped in a world too small, too grey, too cold for a soul so vast. The zookeepers felt it in their bones. One frosty morning, as mist curled around the enclosures, they gathered in a tight huddle, their breath puffing white in the air. "He's fading," one said, voice low and heavy. "He deserves more than this," another added, eyes glinting with something like hope, or maybe guilt. "He deserves the wild." And so, a decision was born, bold and fragile all at once. Babu would leave the zoo behind. His destination? Ado Elephant National Park, a sprawling, untamed Eden where the horizon kissed the sky and the wind sang of freedom. But here's the question that gnaws at you. Could a creature so old, so worn, survive such a leap? Could freedom heal what captivity had broken? Stay with me, because the answer's coming, and it's going to hit you like a thunderclap. The twist. Journey began with a roar, the truck's engine snarling to life, a mechanical beast shaking off its slumber. Inside, Babu swayed, his enormous body rocking with every jolt of the uneven road. Dust swirled through the slatted sides, coating his wrinkled hide in a fine, gritty film. Beside him, gripping the wheel with white-knuckled hands, was Ccio, a young keeper with a mop of dark hair plastered to his sweat-drenched forehead. His brown eyes burned with a quiet fire, a mix of nerves and determination. Ccio wasn't just a driver. He was Babu's anchor, his tether to hope. "Hang on, old friend," he whispered, the words nearly swallowed by the engine's growl. He flicked a glance into the rearview mirror, locking eyes with Babu, those deep, tired pools reflecting a lifetime of patience. "We're almost there. I promise." The hours stretched long and brutal, the sun climbing high and scorching the earth below. Ccio's shirt clung to his back, damp and heavy, but he kept talking, soft murmurs, half to Babu, half to himself. "You're gonna love it. Grass as far as you can see, no more walls, just you and the sky." Finally, the truck lurched to a stop. The gates of Ado creaked open, revealing a golden sea of savanna shimmering under a fiery sunset. Ccio hopped out, boots crunching on gravel, and swung the ramp down. Babu hesitated, his trunk curling upward as if testing the air. Then, with a groan that seemed to come from the earth itself, he stepped forward. His hooves sank into the soft, loamy soil. His first taste of freedom in nearly half a century. The wind rushed past, carrying scents of damp grass and distant rain, and Babu lifted his trunk high, letting out a low, resonant call that rolled across the plains like a hymn. Ccio's face split into a grin, his hand brushing Babu's rough flank. "This is it, big guy. Home." For one perfect, fragile moment it felt like a victory, until dawn ripped it all apart. The sun rose slow and gentle, painting the park in hues of pink and amber. Ccio ambled out to Babu's enclosure, a whistle on his lips, a lightness in his step. He pictured the old elephant grazing lazily, maybe even kicking up dust with that playful spark he'd glimpsed the night before. But when he reached the fence, the tune died in his throat. The enclosure gaped empty, silent as a grave. The tall wooden post stood unbroken, the gate latched tight, no signs of a struggle, no hint of how. Just absence. "Babu!" Cio's voice cracked, sharp and raw, slicing through the morning stillness. No rumble, no shuffle, no answer. His stomach twisted into knots as he dropped to his knees, scanning the ground. There, faint, shallow prints pressed into the dirt, trailing off into the wild expanse of the savanna swallowed by the haze. Panic surged through him like wildfire. He bolted back to the shed, snatching his boots, a crackling radio, and a stick. Barely a tool, let alone a weapon, but it was all he had. "He's out there," Ccio muttered, his pulse hammering in his ears. "I'm not losing him, not after everything." He tore into the savanna, the sun climbing higher, the air growing thick and heavy with heat. His mind raced with questions. Had Babu wandered off, chasing some forgotten instinct? Had something lured him out? Or worse, had something taken him? The possibilities clawed at him, each one darker than the last. You're feeling it too, aren't you? The itch of the unknown, the dread creeping up your spine. Don't blink, because the truth is barreling toward us, and it's a beast all its own. Ccio plunged through towering grass, blades slashing at his arms, his breath coming in sharp, ragged gasps. Sweat stung his eyes, blurring his vision, but he pressed on, driven by a fear he couldn't name. Then through the haze he saw it, a swirling cloud of dust rising like a storm on the horizon. He squinted, heart pounding, and the world tilted. 3 lions, their tawny coats gleaming in the brutal sunlight, prowled in a tight circle. And at the center stood Babu, his massive frame trembling, his trunk swaying feebly, his eyes wide, with a terror that pierced Ccio to the core. The lions growled low, their claws flexing into the dirt, muscles rippling as they closed in. Babu let out a trumpet, high, broken, a cry so primal it ripped through the air and lodged inCcio's chest like a blade. "No!"Ccio's scream erupted, shattering the savanna's eerie calm. His legs moved before his mind could catch up, stick raised high as he charged straight into the fray. Get back! Get away from him! His boots slammed the earth, kicking up. Dust, his voice a thunderclap of defiance. The lions froze, heads snapping toward him, ears flattening in surprise.Ccio's chest heaved, his arms shook, but he skidded to a halt between Babu and the predators, planting himself like a wall. Sweat poured down his face, dripping into the dirt as he locked eyes with the lead lion, its yellow gaze cold, unyielding. "You're not taking him," he growled, voice low and fierce. "Not today, not ever." Babu's trunk brushed Ccio's shoulder, quivering but warm, a fragile thread of trust in the chaos. The lions paced, their snarls vibrating through the ground, tails flicking like whips. Ccio's grip tightened on the stick, his knuckles white, his breath shallow. Every muscle screamed at him to run, but his feet stayed rooted. Behind him Babu shifted, his labored breaths hot against Ccio's neck. Time stretched thin, seconds bleeding into forever. Would the lions lunge? Could one man, armed with nothing, but a stick and a heart full of fire, hold them back? "You're holding your breath now, aren't you? I am too. This is it, the moment where fear meets courage, where a bond is forged or broken." The lead lion bared its fangs, a final snarl rolling from its throat, then turned. One by one the others followed, melting back into the grass like shadows at dusk. Ccio's legs buckled, and he crumpled to his knees, gasping for air. His hand found Babu's trunk, clutching it tight as tears carved tracks through the grime on his face. "I've got you," he choked out, voice splintering. "I've got you, old man." Babu rumbled softly, a sound so faint yet so alive, and leaned into Ccio's touch. A survivor, a fighter, a friend. The trek back was a slow, aching march. Ccio guided Babu step by faltering step, the elephant's strength ebbing with every shuffle. Dust caked their skin, the sun beat down mercilessly, but Ccio never wavered. "We're almost there," he kept saying, as much to himself as to Babu. When they reached the center, the vets swarmed, hands gentle but urgent, wrapping wounds, offering water, coaxing life back into Babu's battered frame. Days blurred. Into nights and slowly, impossibly, Babu mended. His eyes, once dulled by years, sparked again, catching the light with a quiet defiance. One evening, as the sky bled crimson and gold, Ccio led Babu to a hill overlooking the savannah. The old elephant grazed, his trunk curling lazily around clumps of grass, the rhythm of his breaths steady and sure. Ccio sank down beside him, resting, against his warm-weathered side, the weight of their ordeal lifting like mist in the morning sun. "You made it," he said, voice thick with pride and something deeper, love maybe, or awe. Babu rumbled low, nudging Ccio's arm with his trunk, a thank you, a promise, a bond sealed in the wild heart of Africa. The savannah sprawled endless before them, alive with whispers of wind and distant calls, a world reborn for both of them. "And you're right here with us, aren't you?" Feeling the relief wash over you, the triumph swelling in your chest, the quiet joy of knowing they won. So what do you say? Did you feel the heat searing your skin, the terror of those lions clawing at your nerves, the heartbeat of a friendship that refused to break? Tell me, would you have charged into the fray like Ccio, stick in hand, or would you have faltered under the weight of those yellow eyes? Hit me with your thoughts, because this story's not done. It's alive, pulsing. And I want you to keep it burning. Let's hear it.